Part 83 of Don't Say Schwarzenegger. In this part, I'll be talking about how I was able to get a felony probation violation hearing for Shawn Driz put on the calendar in court 2 weeks after our 2021 civil trial verdict. And I will lay out for you with the receipts on how another deputy district DA, a DDA as I call it, lied straight to me and my friend's face, made up a law that didn't exist, to protect Shawn, to make sure that under no circumstances he would have to show up to court or go to prison for committing crimes on camera. So on July 22nd, which was the third week of our trial, and it was the day that I finished my testimony, and it was also the same day that I received that blackmail email around 8:45 evening that night. I ended up sending, at the end of the court day during one of our breaks, I couldn't even wait till I got out of court, but I ended up making some phone calls and sending some emails. And the people that I contacted were the DA that was handling the downtown case. This was a new replacement DA, not the amazing one. He was removed for asking the right questions. This was a replacement DA, and then also the head deputy at the airport court, where the illegal secret hearings were held to address the white powder and loaded stolen pew-pew from the Driz twins. So I had two DAs that I had to contact, and the third person was Shawn Driz's probation officer. So the names of all these people: the downtown replacement DA, his name is Paul Guthrie. The DA who handles the airport court stuff, the illegal stuff, that would be Stephen Katz. I've talked about them before, not Paul Guthrie really, and the third person, Shawn Driz's probation officer, that her name would be Darlene Montalvo. Oh, and side note, I thought I'd just add this picture because this was a little over a year after the civil trial verdict, and Christina Schwarzenegger rewarded her sugar baby, Shawn Driz, with a trip to Cabo for his birthday. Isn't that really nice and not gross at all? So when I was emailing the probation officer who was repping all three Drizes for those preceding years, Denise Montalvo or Darlene Montalvo, I sent her this email. Here, you can pause it, whatever. I pretty much gave her a little recap of the last time we had spoken a year and a half prior, when I reported the Driz twins for being caught in a bar drinking, and I had video evidence. And when I had called her that year and a half prior, she ended up lying to me on the phone. And when I said, hey, I have evidence of like a probation violation, she cut me off and said, they didn't violate. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And she goes, they didn't violate. I can promise you that. And I was like, excuse me, you're not their attorney. This is really concerning since you're actually overseeing their probation. Why are you vouching for them? And like, this is such strange behavior. And she goes, well, they just didn't. I know they didn't. And I was like, I didn't tell you what the evidence was. She goes, doesn't matter. And I was like, hold up. What are the probation conditions? Because I know what they are. They're on probation for 5 years, and all of them were on probation for 5 years. The Driz twins had an extra 3 years added onto their probation for the pew-pew white powder bust that happened at their house. So 8 years for the twins, 5 years for Shawn Driz. And I was like, what are the probation conditions? She refused to tell me. Then she said, you have to ask the DA. I let this woman know that I just got off the phone with the DA right before I called her, and he said, you can ask probation. That's how it works. So then she starts stuttering over her words. I'm not kidding. Stuttering, couldn't get a word out. Sounded like she was about to have a panic attack. Don't care. Welcome to my world. So I go, I'm gonna need to Karen this out. Let me talk to your supervisor. She puts the supervisor on the phone after like a 5-minute putting me on hold. And he ends up telling me, we can't tell you what the probation conditions are. And so I end up just hitting a wall and hanging up the phone. Interesting why their probation people are refusing to tell me. So this was the email that I sent to Head Deputy Stephen Katz and DDA Paul Guthrie, who did the criminal stuff. And I attached all the evidence, the videos, all that stuff, and they received it. So it was in their possession, okay, in July of 2021. Then Stephen Katz, the head deputy who was somehow allowed to give a disposition on the illegal secret hearings at the airport court, he responded to me pretty quickly, and he says, hey, I'm no longer assigned to that case. I bet he got a huge promotion and bought a house somewhere or something. But he was like, but I'm forwarding your email to the head deputy at the airport court, somebody named Margot Baxter. On top of it, I had forwarded this to the new probation officer for Shawn Driz, Alejandro Torres. So he has everything in his possession. So now you have it that all the DAs and all the probation officers have the evidence of these violations, including Shawn Driz at my deposition violating his restraining order by talking to me, asking me if I'm still afraid of him. I just thought I'd add this picture that I found in 2023, and he's, very broke and indigent on a yacht with his friends. And I got the court date. It was within 2 weeks of the verdict. Everyone's freaking out. I could feel it because I have the evidence and we just won the biggest landslide, PTSD trial of all time. And I'm like, they're going to listen to me. Like, the corruption's done. I have done it. I get to court on August 11th, 2021. Here's a selfie I took outside of the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center, downtown LA, and I'm wearing the mask that one of the jurors had gotten me with the little princess in the castle. It was really cute. But so I get to court, and I have a friend witness with me, and for this court date in the department at the certain time, we get there early, but guess what? Nobody was there. Nobody was there. Not a judge, not a bailiff, not a DA, nobody. So we're trying to call, I'm calling people, nobody's picking up my call, I'm emailing people, nobody's emailing me. We're running around the whole courthouse, asking for somebody. And then after like 30 minutes, suddenly there's a department that we should go to. So we go to it and they're setting up, we're like, okay, we're dressed for court. We're sitting in the back. It's a different random judge and it's 2 random DDAs, like 2 women I've never seen before. It's fine. So we're sitting in the back and I'm ready to present my case. And the judge looks up and she's like, who are you? And I was like, hi, I'm Anne Green. I'm the one that survived the attempted unaliving by the man who's not here right now, Shawn Driz. And then the bailiff was like, wait. Attempted what? Like, I'm supposed to know if this is a violent crime or something so I can tell people where to sit for safety. Like, what is going on? And I was like, yeah, that's a shocker that nobody told you what was going on. So now we're at least 30, 40 minutes past the time when court should have started. And my friend and I are just sitting there like confident, here we go. And we noticed that the 2 women DAs, they were kind of younger, like in their early 30s or something. And I noticed them, they're whispering and they're running up to the judge, they're taking calls and then they run out of the courtroom to take the call and then they come back in. And we're sitting there like, what's going on? They say something to the judge and then the judge looks up and she goes, this hearing is canceled today, you guys can go home. And I was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? And she goes, yeah, well, they didn't break any laws because they weren't on probation, so you can leave. And we were like, hold up. I have verified information, documentation showing that they are literally on probation, at least Shawn. Today we're dealing with Shawn. Shawn's on probation for another month till September 12th, and we are at August 11th. I was like, there's no doubt about it. And I have video evidence of him violating a restraining order in a violent crime. And she was like, sorry, don't know what to tell you. So I'm about to burst into tears, and the 2 DAs walk over to us. And the first one, her name's DDA Allison Wilhite. She comes over and she was like, look, I don't know the details of your case or anything, but these guys, they didn't do anything wrong because we have a new law called AB1950. You can pause it to look at it, but I pulled this off the California Legislative Information page. And she goes, law AB 1950, it means that they shorten probation for a lot of criminals and they let a lot of them out of jail because we just don't have the staff and we don't have room in our prisons and stuff. So sorry, don't know what to tell you. And I was like, that doesn't apply to my case though. And she goes, look, Ms. Green, I'm really impressed by all your activism. And immediately right there, I was like, oh, you don't know about my case, but you've been looking at my Instagram. You've been looking at my social media because before I started TikTok years ago, I was trying to get the word out about it, but I wouldn't go on camera to talk about it because I just was messed up in the head. And so I was trying to do it with pictures and long captions and it didn't work. But right there, I was like, oh, she knows exactly who I am. She knows exactly what this case is about. So she's like, AB 1950, don't know what to tell you. And we walk out of the, not 1 minute. Okay. Long story short, AB 1950, yes, it's a law that shortens probation down to 1 to 3 years for criminals, but it is only, read it online, it is only for misdemeanors and it is only for nonviolent crimes, not felony, almost attempted unaliving GBI felonies. It does not apply to the Drizzes, not Shawn, not Maurice, not Alberto. She lied to me, this DDA lied to me and my friend about what the law was to protect Christina Schwarzenegger's boyfriend. Okay, let's get to the next part. Thank you guys so much. We got only a little bit more of my series and then we're done. But thank you so much for being here and follow me on Instagram.